This episode is sponsored by Overcast, a better podcast app than whatever you're using right now, unless it's Overcast. Get Overcast for free on the App Store. Welcome, readers, to episode 5 of Britannia. I'm your host, Dottore, man of science. And on today's show, we're going to explore a wide jamblet of historical rulers, as well as significant events of the day. If this is your first time listening to Britannia, the popular podcast, just know that it is a fun spin-off podcast from my real and legitimate science show, Blastropodcast. On Britannia, I, Dottore, man of science, converse with a person from England so that the wider world may gain beneficial knowledge from my 2-hour suffrage of the poison words spraying out of his villainous English maw. Today's guest is a James designer and host of the Hearty Dice Friends podcast, Mr. Grant Howitt! Say hello, Grant!
Hello, Grant.
Well, that's about all I can stand of that. Let's turn it over to our surprise conscripted faux host, Mike. Well, that's about all I can stand of that. Let's turn it over to our surprise conscripted faux host, my idiot roommate, Mark Soloff. Oh, I don't think that's a good idea. I have a throat thing going on right now.
I don't know this. I don't know this guy.
Later.
Okay, bye, Dottore. Hi, Mark, was it?
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Let's start the show?
Salsa!
Yeah, normally I just talk to the doctor guy. He mispronounces words. Do you mispronounce words?
I mean, sometimes, but
Okay, but not on purpose. Just like immolate.
what?
Just like immolate.
Fuck you. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Britannia, episode number 5. I'm your special, unexpected co-host, or just host, Mark Soloff. I've got a throat thing going on today. Just want to.
Well, like after the podcast? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's the Throat Festival here in Chicago, Illinois.
We all go there. We put stuff down. We take stuff out. It's great.
It's a real celebration of throats. So yeah, I was, as you might know me from Our Fair City, the audio drama podcast. I do several voices, and last night I was doing some Patreon reward content for them as a character who has the most gravelly, grindy voice and who is the most prone to screaming. And so I did about 3 hours of that, and that's not good for...
Why would you do that? Why would you do that the day before the Throat Festival?
I thought I was just going to kind of sit and observe this year's Throat Festival.
It only comes around once a year.
Yeah, it does. Dottore was going to be in the pod chamber, kind of like stinking up the place, recording.
He's got a wet and powerful throat.
He does. It is.
Yeah.
It's really wet.
Yeah, it's humid is the word I'd use to describe that man's throat.
It's like leaking.
It's like the inside of a freshly cooked chicken.
You know how to cook them moist. Do you use a suived?
No, I use an oven. But
how quaint.
How quaint, yes. In America, we simply shoot the chicken until it's cooked.
Yeah, you wrap it around the barrel of your M16 and fire until it's hot enough that you can eat it. Some asshole politician did that.
Wasn't it Ted Cruz?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he wrapped bacon rather than a full chicken carcass. Because if you can cook a full chicken carcass on a machine gun, actually, I want to go to your restaurant.
Yeah.
But bacon, easy enough. We can all cook bacon on machine guns.
Sure. It's a simple parlor trick.
Yeah. It's like, that's what they serve at Throat Fest. They got those big vans of gun-cooked bacon.
Mm-hmm. Gun-cooked bacon. Yeah, Chicago, world-renowned for the finest guns.
I don't know anything about Chicago. Is are there a lot of guns or no guns? What's the situation there?
Oh, that's really refreshing. Chicago has the reputation of having a disproportionately large amount of gun violence and deaths by shooting.
Gotcha.
I mean, partially because we have gangs where it is popular to protect yourself and your family with a gun that you shouldn't have, and to steal shit for yourself and your family with a gun that you shouldn't have. And then the police have guns.
And you put both of these gun holders in situations where they're encouraged to shoot at each other.
Right. Yeah, it's
firearms related events are going to occur, I believe is how your media puts it.
Right. As any child who's played cops and robbers knows, it's not cops and robbers until the finger guns come out.
No, for sure. At that point, it's just sort of a tense negotiation, a détente.
Yeah. Like, hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Fingers.
I don't think we ever did the sort of tense intro bit where the kids playing the robbers were perhaps knocking over a bank. And had to try and persuade the other kids who were buying into the fiction of the role. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just here to check my overdraft. Oh, seems fine to me. Carry on. You run in there and you have the finger guns. I'm doing the finger guns now. I don't know whether you can hear it on the audio. There you go.
I would like to see the opening sequence of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight done by children using finger guns, where the bank heist robbers execute each other sneakily one after the other so they can get larger proportions of the take.
You've seen Spaced, right?
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yes.
For our American audience, tell them what Spaced is.
So this is part of a new segment on Rue Britannia. I'm calling it Grant's Gems now. Grant's Nuggets of media, which is things which this was a suggestion that Mark made, that perhaps I can share nuggets of media which America has not received. Now, there's a little actor which you might be aware of called Simon Pegg, who's in all the Mission Impossible films now.
Is he the guy who does the butt stuff?
That's you're thinking of Simon Pegg with 3 Gs.
Yes.
He's only got 2 Gs. Ironically, none of his films are G-rated.
Wait a minute. I'm certain he's done like one of those stupid old-timey cartoons that people love, like Tintin.
Well, maybe he has, but I don't know whether he did butt stuff in it. What do you mean?
Do you know what pegging is, Grant?
I know what pegging is. Sorry, it was the way you...
Prove it.
Okay.
Drop him.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm you know what? I'm glad the webcam isn't on anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, readers. As Grant likes to call you. I have a webcam which I tried to use so that Grant and I could Skype with each other and look at each other as though we're having a real conversation, not just talking to computer screens that show waveforms. But somehow I fucked it up. I really fucked it up, you guys.
I think that's probably good, because at this point now we can't sort of do longing glances or knowing winks at each other, which aren't going to get picked up on the audio, unless we made a really knowing wink.
Yeah, I've been perceiving a lot of that in your podcast, where you podcast with your best friend and business partner, and there's a whole lot of like 2 seconds of silence followed by giggles.
We never use video with each other.
Why?
Just for that very reason. Also, we don't really like looking at each other. Neither of us are prize pictures.
You don't like to make eye contact with each other lest you melt.
Oh my god, no. I mean, actually making eye contact with a human being? That's disgusting.
It's one of the worst experiences that you can have.
I did an improv show. Not an improv show. I did an improv class. I was training improv. And one of the quite an early exercise we had to do was just look directly into the eyes of someone for until the instructor told us not to, and it was hugely unsettling.
Yeah,
it was like I would have rather he asked me to kill his dog.
Yeah, well, that dog has no eyes.
Not anymore.
that would be a mercy. Because
it's horrible. It's horrible looking into someone's eyes. It's disgusting.
As it is a British dog, it's actually a basilisk with some fur on it. And so by putting out its eyes, you really helped the students of that wizarding school.
Have we covered the basilisk on the show?
The basilisk, probably.
The basilisk.
You know, this might surprise you.
We had the wyvern.
The wyvern, yes. This might surprise you, but I don't listen to a whole lot of Dottore's back catalog.
No, that's fair. I'm really sorry, Mark. Yeah, I should remember what I talk about on this program because it comes out so often. We've just recorded so many; it's hard for me to remember.
Well, if you think about all the muffed movies that I've done, comparatively, you have way fewer episodes to recall what you said
That's true.
than I do. Grant,
I wanted to talk about the basilisk.
you want to talk about the basilisk?
Yeah.
Well, let's.
It's not an English thing though. It's maybe from Spain.
Well, let's
go back to the format. Let's go back to the format. We've been goofing around enough.
Let's save the basilisk as a juicy dessert. Because we cooked it with a suivi.
Stop it.
I don't speak French.
Suavad.
But I can guarantee you the American pronunciation is just a little bit less wrong than the British pronunciation, because you guys hate to pronounce French words right.
Well, it depends. It depends what grade of class you are.
Oh, like if you're more regal.
Well, if you're in the difficult leisure, actually, you know what? Let's talk about class. That's an English thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've you and Dottore have danced around a class and done impressions and stuff, but never formally addressed the distinct 5 castes, which are prescribed by British society.
Earth, air, water, fire, and ethereal.
That's right.
And the ethereal caste, the rulers, they live on. No, sorry, that's the Tau Empire I'm thinking of.
Oh, I was hoping you were thinking of Avatar.
Oh, I don't watch that's for children.
But it's good.
Is it?
It is good. It's heartwarming and it's fun and it's got some of that magic stuff. But
look. I had a go. I couldn't get through the first season. I had a bash at it. I don't like the main character or any of the subsidiary characters. Aside from that, it was fine.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, as long as you gave it a fair shot. I read an article written by an Asian American person, and this person is, essentially culturally they grew up in the U.S. and they have all the American traditions, but their parents are very rooted in the culture of the country that they came from. And as a kind of phenomenon for Asian kids growing up in the U.S., there's like hurdles they have to overcome. Like they bring the food their parents make them to the lunchroom, and then the little white kids make fun of them for like ew, that's gross food, and they're shamed, and so they're put in this strange position where like they have to eat this food and they're ashamed to show it to their friends and peers. So Avatar, for kids who were children when Avatar was coming out, showed a like pseudo Asian protagonist, and when it was time for like, oh, let's all get desserts, gang, they got like egg tarts instead of like
egg chocolate
pudding. And this Asian article author said like that really meant something as a child.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice. I like that. Okay,
have some representation.
Yeah, maybe it's not so bad after all. Plus they drink a lot of tea. I remember that. The old guy liked his tea.
They like their tea?
From the Fire Nation. The old guy. He was like, oh, it's important to drink tea. And the guy with the face, he was like, I've got no time for tea, uncle. And they had the boats. Again, I didn't really watch it very hard.
That's right. Uncle Iroh. Who
sounds good.
He was my favorite character. There is an episode of Avatar. Hey, welcome to AvChat. There's an episode.
Welcome to the Avatar the Last Airbender podcast. So what it's going to be is Mark Soloff is going to explain Avatar the Last Airbender to me, a man who doesn't know about it.
I'm going to mansplain it to you, Grant.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, tuck him under. So.
Okay.
So,
that sucked.
Okay, so I'll make it quick then.
Yeah.
So, there's an episode in one of the later seasons of Avatar, still the original series, not Korra, which is like a sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's a show made of several mini episodes, like tiny stories,
right? Yeah,
comprised to make like sort of the tale of this city.
Like those really disappointing Simpsons episodes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Almost Got 'Em, the Batman the Animated Series episode.
I don't know that one.
It's you don't like superheroes, but Almost Got 'Em.
Welcome to the Bat Chat podcast, where Mark Soloff is going to explain Batman animated superheroes.
Bat Chat is a nested podcast that exists within the AvCast. which is a
Yeah, you
sub-podcast.
have to go through AvCast first to get to Back Chat.
Right. Sorry, but when you buy a Cadbury egg, you're not going to get to the sweet faux cream albumin unless you break through the dry, flavorless, waxy chocolate exterior.
The whole thing is flavorless. Those things are like there's a certain level. Well, once you buy into them, it's almost like you're signing a contract with the egg. It's like I'm in this now, and I have to eat this whole thing. And they're not massive, but they're tooth-rendingly sweet.
Yeah,
and it's just full of a sort of viscous goo.
Is that the proper definition of cloying when it's so sweet that it's horrible?
Yeah, I think so. Or like saccharin. That's the other one.
Yeah, it's too sweet. Simply too sweet. My
Simply
good man.
too sweet. I've got one in the cupboard now, and I'm scared of eating it. Also, fun fact: it's pronounced creme egg.
Creme egg?
Creme egg, not cream egg.
I didn't call it a cream egg. Wait, yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
But I also called it Cadbury. Like it's like they're berries.
Go on.
They're berries that you pick off of a bush and it turns you into a real piece of shit.
I was gonna go for the like this real aristocratic douchebag just puts them in the ground.
Oh,
that was gonna be my goof off that one.
Yeah, that cad will bury you.
Mm.
Anyway, the Cadbury creme egg. Jesus.
Welcome to Chocolate Chast. Chocolate Cast. So this is it's also known as Back Chat because we use it to reflect on the Back Chat podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an after show thing.
This is the U-turn of the nested podcasts. You have to pass as you descend through Back Chat. You come to the Chocolate Chast. That's a little pun we do. And
yeah, it's nice. You reach the outer wall.
You go around the U-ring.
Now, unlike an egg, this has many layers.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, if you want to get down to the nanoscale, everything has many layers.
Well, then that's irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so like a dog, this has many layers. That's true. Dogs do have quite a few layers.
Yeah. They've got the fur.
Yeah.
Then the basilisk skin.
Mm-hmm. then you've got like the fat.
The fat, the muscle, the organ system of the basilisk, the basilisk skeleton, and then the souls of all the villagers that it ate.
What do you think dogs are? Basilisks?
In England, we established this.
So we have basilisks instead of dogs.
What y'all call a dog is a basilisk with fur on it.
Yeah, it's true. We've got some really ugly dogs.
Yeah.
So ugly they crack the stones around them.
That's why that British comedian ate a Yorkie, a Yorkshire Terrier, a Corgi.
What the hell are you talking about?
Some piece of shit in England ate a dog.
He ate a dog?
It's rumor, so it must be true. Yeah, I want to say it's fucking what's that? Eddie Izzard.
Okay.
But I cannot corroborate that.
He seems like a good character. I don't think he'd eat a dog.
It was dead.
Or if it had already, I figure he didn't eat a dog live. He didn't open his maw and have it run in.
I mean, I don't believe that he had the dog killed with the express purpose to eat
it. Was someone else's dog and he crept in their house and just got a leg off before it could escape.
He said, "Do you know who I am, mate? I'm Eddie fucking Izzard.
I'm Eddie fucking Izzard, I am. This is my voice. Hello.
How about you give me that fatting corgi?"
Oh, wonderful. Let's go to the format of the show.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, hang on. No, hang on. Are we
Order!
We still balls deep in this nested layer of sub-podcasts.
We're coming back up. So come back up slowly so you don't get nitrogen narcosis.
Hang on. Let's see if we can do this backwards.
Almost
Gotham is an episode of Batman the Animated Series where it's very stylized. Batman's great villains sit around a poker table drinking and playing poker and sharing stories of how they almost got the Batman.
Welcome to Almost Gotham, our podcast where we chat about this one episode. No, go on.
That's where we start to leave Bat Chat.
Yeah.
And we enter AvChat.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's
yeah,
called
it's just one episode.
I think it's called Tales of Ba Sing Se, and it's like 3 stories set in the city,
Right.
and it gets into Uncle Eero's dead son who died in war. And Eero,
Gets into him.
it gets into him. Oh god.
Oh shit! Is that how he dies?
Yeah. So it's very touching, you know, because Uncle Eero is such like a wise, happy character, and then he goes to his son's grave and weeps.
Oh no,
Yeah, you don't expect it.
that's bad.
I cried.
Well, it's cathartic.
Yeah.
Okay, and then one up from AvChat is just Rue Britannia.
Ugh. Ugh. It's like in the 3rd Matrix movie, which we all have seen and remember every scene of. When,
Oh, I loved it.
yeah, when Neon, the Keanu Reevesman, he takes a
Neon and Trinidad. I remember this too.
yeah, he takes a. It's hard for me to mispronounce words as myself. Feels wrong.
Are you just trying to imitate Dottore?
Yeah, because I don't want to disappoint the readers, the scientists. Too late. They take a spaceship and they fly above the toxic cloud line that blotted out the sun.
And it's so nice.
Yeah, it's like that headspace meditation where it's like, even if you're having a bad day, just think about above the clouds, there's a blue sky.
Is it Andy, the name of the guy who does that?
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi. Try not to think.
Hi.
Try not to think.
Hi.
Oh, I'm Andy.
Hey, I'm Andy. I need you to stay very calm.
I'm Andy with a knife, I am.
I've hidden myself in the ventilation system.
Hi, this is Tom Waits.
Hi, this is Tom Waits.
Welcome to Headspace.
It's a guided meditation app.
Old American blues musicians.
We're gonna remember I met this one woman who was very calm, and she only had one eye, and it was glass. And I'm becoming Marge's mother from The Simpsons.
Is that Tom Waits' secret? He was bitten by Marge's mother, and he's
radioactive Marge mum.
He's slowly transmuting.
We are breaching the surface, and we are blossoming up into the safe shores, the sunny shores of Rue Britannia. That podcast. Oh, there's a dog on the submarine.
Okay, number 1, submarines don't have that kind of a horn.
The submarine, well, okay, what does have that kind of a horn? Some sort of dog ship?
I'd say a scow, like a fishing boat, or maybe a whaling boat.
Oh, interesting. How often do they go beneath the surface of the water?
They don't go beneath. Well, depends on what kind of day you're having, buddy.
That's true. If there's a perfect storm of brewing,
yeah,
you'll go under. Listen, can we do the thing?
Let's do the thing.
Okay.
All right. So, Rue Britannia is a show where Dottore Balordo, an Italian-American scientist, talks with Grant Howitt, a Scottish, British, Portuguese Englishman. And we introduce Americans to British customs, traditions, words, bits of history that Americans might not be familiar with. This is perhaps the most educational show under the Blastropodcast umbrella.
Well, like, occasionally, so like a few episodes when I was working with Dottore, I'd tell lies, and Dottore seemed to get very upset at the fact that I wasn't telling the truth.
Yeah, you broke the contract with the listener.
Yeah,
that's why you've been...
I've decided to have nothing but truth.
Good. Because there's a reason you've been receiving all those envelopes with British people's fingers in them. And that's what Americans do when they feel betrayed by a podcast.
They send... Or by a podcast. Oh, I see. So it's your listeners.
Yeah, my listeners are... They are brutal, savage orcs and...
Devoted to this show.
Yeah, there's like... It's kind of a cult. They will find British expats living in the U.S. They'll grab them up by the fingers... And they'll use...
Oh, looks me fingers!
Yeah, and they'll use...
That's what they'll say.
They identify the Brits by their pumpkin hose, their
pasty skin, bad teeth.
Their wide, puffy breeches and their tights. and their pointed shoes, and
the ruffs.
The Americans, yes, of course, the neck ruff, my favorite. The
Americans ride up on their fucking horses.
That's
Yeehaw, partner.
That's true. It's like, come on, man. The Americans will take a cigar cutter and they'll just slide it up the thin and bony fingers of the Englishman that they're taking their rage out on. This person did nothing to them.
No,
but
nothing at all. He happens to be my kin.
Right, to them, all Brits are linked back to Grant.
All Brits are part of the same massive organism, like one of those big underground mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
You seen Annihilation? The film Annihilation? Or the book Annihilation?
No, I haven't, Grant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because that's what Britain's like.
Well, you know, Grant. Ants can create these huge colonies that stretch on for miles under the earth, and they have like sort of like colonial city-states where there can be different queens, and they're just they sort of like merge with other colonies, and they kind of have their own sphere of influence that they respect.
It's not like they send each other their fingers, though, is it?
No, well, they don't have fingers.
No, that's true.
That's what separates us from the ants.
We are blossoming beautifully into the crest of this episode, whatever. Episode 5 of Britannia.
Grant, do you think human evolution will include more fingers because we have to keyboard so much and touchscreen?
I'm thinking spare fingers around the body for like stuff. Like let's say I wanna like get something out of my ear. What if I had a finger just growing out the side of my face that could just be for ears, maybe mouths?
That would be cool.
Like a mandible.
Wait, isn't it?
You know?
Isn't a mandible a jaw?
Well, if I'm saying it would be like a mandible on my face, but then I'd use it to like grip my food. Like if I was hawking down a big turkey leg, but also I want to like direct traffic, I could have my little mouth fingers pull that in, and then I'd chow down on that, and it would rotate the turkey leg.
Ooh, so you mean mandible like in the sense of a crab, how it has those hideous little digits that like
but there would be human fingers on my rather than like I don't know, monkey fingers.
Yeah, let's hope we don't start growing monkey parts.
Horrendous orangutan fingers coming out of my face. How about you, Mark? You live with a scientist.
I do live with a scientist. My thought is that our hands are going to sort of lose specificity and flatten out so that they can be perfectly envelop a touchscreen device within the palm. And
is enveloping good?
Yes. Oh, it's so good. It feels great.
Oh, it's brilliant. You tried it?
And then little, very sharp and powerful arrows of flesh will be able to dart out and retract.
Cilia? Is that the word?
Yeah, well, like cilia, except they don't like flap about like a wacky inflatable arm guy outside a car dealership. Idiot. Like
these guys are straight and to the point.
These are like if a tent,
pow 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 pow.
Yeah, like a spike trap in an Indiana Jones thing. But our flesh can just like shoot those out in order to tap touchscreen devices more effectively.
Now that is great. How would you see the screen?
Oh damn, you got me, bro.
You'd have to put a horrible eye in everyone's hand.
Maybe we can. I don't know. Fuck ourselves.
Maybe we can just go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm all out.
Yeah. So obviously this is Mark's first time hosting, so I'll give him a little hand here. Like normally, the first thing we do is we have a 3-act structure,
just like any classical work.
Yeah.
Except for Shakespeare, which was 5 acts.
Yep, which is 5 acts. Although gotta argue, I think it would have been better if he'd just done 3.
Yeah, well, he was paid by the act.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 was expected, and then since he reached his Kickstarter stretch goal, he was compelled to write an additional 2 acts for every successful play. And like honestly, most of those were just filler, and generally by the end, he was so frustrated and burnt out, he would just end it in tragedy.
Yeah,
it's like fuck.
Yeah, it's like I've got to write another fucking gatekeeper telling some jokes about cocks.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just have everyone in Hamlet's court get killed. We're done.
Fuck it.
And then I don't have to write any more content for this in case I reach my next stretch.
Ending it like a moody teen ending a Tumblr fanfic.
Yeah. Not like
Fuck it, everyone dies.
Not like I've ever read a Tumblr fanfic, but I imagine how a moody teen would deal with it.
It's like a moody teen writing anything. I used to be quite against fanfic because I felt it was like, what, just make up your own stories. But it's kind of a really valid way of engaging with a fiction that you like, and it's creativity, and it's quite popularly female led. And like, there's been like places in which women can get into your sci-fis and your fantasies within the fanfiction community, which they're simply not allowed to do by the broader community.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, I don't read actual books, let alone fanfiction. I'm far too busy.
You said fart.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. My girlfriend is scratching at the door and pushing tufts of our cat's.
Ooh, Mark's got a girlfriend.
Pushing tufts of our cat's hair under the door. It's like a little dead tribble has just been...
Does she know you're trying to work in here?
Yeah, but I told her she could interrupt if she needs to, because...
If she needs to?
Right.
She can't find anywhere to put the fucking hair.
Because your wife brings you cocktails constantly.
That's true. Yeah.
When you're recording.
Yeah. I've swatted 3 away so far already.
Hello? Hold on. What? What's going on? Oh, you were just putting the hair under the door? Okay. I thought it was an emergency. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the recording. Bye. Yeah.
Okay.
Grant, I'm living in her house. I have to play. I have to play by her rules.
Yeah, she's got some strange rules.
Rule number 1: when a cat's hair comes under the door,
It's for Mark.
notice must be taken.
A brief round of applause. Yes, you put it under the door. Congratulations. Well done. That's not where it goes.
Where does it go? Back into the cat?
I like when I groom my cat, I like to make a sort of wig, and my cat's hair is the same color as your horrible president's hair. So I like to measure it in trumps.
Oh, like
how many...
one wig equals one Trump?
Yeah. So like how many trumps I can get off him. He's a very big, hairy cat.
I like that.
It's pretty cool. It does. I don't like to think about your awful ruler at all, but it's the closest I can get to it.
No, I mean, I still pretend that we're in a transition. You know, like,
Well,
I like to pretend like all the votes aren't in.
Transition.
That's true.
Oh, right, I see. I'm still working it out.
Like, you know, it's just, this is not going to happen, but I like to imagine that it's just a matter of time before the evidence is out that Russia planted Trump in our Oval Office, and that's like, oh, well, obviously, this is not valid. Let's do a valid election.
Great.
But that's not going to happen.
No.
Everyone around him will be arrested, but he'll be fine.
Yeah. It's fucked.
It is fucked. Anyway, hey! It's
energy. Energy. Here we go.
It's a shame that we talked about this at section 1, because section 3, I'll give him a little sneak peek, is going to be about the mad and bad rulers of Great Britain. I mean, we just got our first one in the U.S. We're a little bit behind.
Yeah, look, you did okay for 8 years.
Yeah,
that's something.
Yeah, we almost admitted that climate change is real and man-made.
Oh, sorry, you guys were so close to making maybe a dent in the apocalypse.
We were so close to being on par with like Scandinavia 40 years ago.
Oh, so close.
So
close.
So now all this is going to get cut because this is super downer.
Yeah, for sure.
Section 1 is called What's All This Then? What does it mean?
Well, this is a section where I bring a piece of international news to the podcast, which your readers or your listeners may have missed.
I don't know how we could miss international news. I mean, as far as we know, the only thing that's happening is a porn star is going to talk dirty about the president, and trans people aren't allowed in our military anymore because, ooh, spooky.
God forbid they die for their country, huh?
Yeah. I view that hateful act of forbidding them military service as like a pretty lame smokescreen to draw attention from the porn star who's going to talk about like piss videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is a legitimate slap in the face of America's trans community.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it seems weird to not let someone be in your army.
Yeah.
You know, I think like it was about it's about, like medically it's about as expensive of a procedure as providing Viagra to people, which they do. So you know.
I didn't know they give soldiers Viagra.
Oh god, I might be wrong. I don't know, but like I think like that's covered under military healthcare. If you have erectile dysfunction, you can get some of those sweet pills to keep your pepper up.
Get some and then get some.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Tell me what.
Tell me why. If I were an soldier and I had halberd in hand
and pauldron,
right, and I was about to set upon the Hun, I would want to have my polearm at full attention. I would want to be turgid.
I would want the limpest dick available if I'm going into a fight.
Why?
Well, first off,
harder target.
Smaller target. I'm not gonna get it caught in stuff, and the odds of someone cutting my dick off drop dramatically. Dramatically? Yeah, I like that. They drop dramatically.
Dramaticate. You know what? I am a dramaster and commander of this ship.
I've seen you dramasturbating in your cabin.
I bark orders to my crew, and then I really throw a fit and cry.
I just look. I gotta say, I appreciate your hustle and moxie, saying that you want to have a raging hard-on when you run into a war.
I mean, but just once.
Well, maybe just once. But like, if that becomes common practice and some pictures get out, I'm gonna ask some questions about America's military there.
Yeah.
Is war? Is it a sex thing? You don't want the answer to be yes.
America's latest fetish: war.
A little bit of satire there.
Yeah.
So listen, I don't think we can actually have a good section 1. I don't think I can talk about anything that's happened at all that without being utterly redundant or incredibly depressing. So I think we should skip section 1 also, because I haven't got anything.
All right. Also, the listeners were treated to like a really special taste of the substructure of this podcast.
If we're leaving it in, yeah, then they were.
Where we talk about Avatar, Batman the Animated Series, just specific episodes, and then talk about how we talked about that.
Yeah. Well, it was it's Almost Gotham, isn't it? The
Almost Gotham. No, it's the Batcast.
Oh, sorry. Almost Gotham is the spin-off from Batcast where we just talk about Almost Gotham.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
If I had fans, I would ask them to please draw a chart of how the Rue Britannia substructure works.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it, if we had fans?
I like when podcasts that are very successful are like, oh my god, somebody please do a poster of this joke that we just did. And I'm like, you fucking arrogant fucks.
Yeah.
Although I would absolutely ask for all of that if I had enough people who are also artists and want to do that.
Well, I think like what we have to do is start producing quality content, and I don't know how to do that.
On the internet?
Yeah, right. There's so much on there. There's so much content.
For free?
Yeah, and no one trained us.
No one tranked us?
No one trained us to do it. No one tranked us either.
I know, Grant, I know you grew up in Jurassic Park, but tranking is not really a normal thing that people do.
Listen, all right, Grandad.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally, a few of us young folks like to go out and get shot by Sam Neill.
Oh, I prefer to get shot by Robert Muldoon.
I don't know who Robert Muldoon is. Which one is he an actor?
He's like the British, probably British, maybe Australian.
Oh, is he the hunter?
Yeah.
Yes,
with
okay.
like the very distinctive nose and the shortest little tan shorts.
Oh, he's got those little booty shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the best character who dies in the lamest way.
Does he get eaten on the toilet? Is that the one?
No, that's the lawyer.
Okay.
Robert Muldoon gets outsmarted by the raptors that he purports to hunt constantly.
It's not like the lamest way. Like he could have got his hand stuck on a waffle iron.
Yeah.
and starved to death.
he took the wrong medicine. Yeah, but I mean, it's like...
It's got hit by an unmarked bus. Go on, sorry. Nothing to do with Jurassic Park, not part of the film.
He's hit by Dennis Nedry recklessly driving his Jeep to try to get to the harbor on time. Crikey, oh,
Strafe.
all my years of skill in killing animals. But yeah,
My only regret is I didn't kill more animals.
Blastropodcast is a proud member of the Chicago Podcast Cooperative. If you like our show, you might like some of their other offerings, like Blurry Photos. Blurry Photos humorously sheds light on the shadowy topics of the world, from cryptozoology and the paranormal to conspiracies and the unexplained. Dave and David want you to learn something weird. Blurry Photos. Tell them Mark sent you.